film it and film my process and just kind of like go about my morning normal painting process and just film it and make a really calm and happy video. Everyone say hi to Goose. Who's that handsome man? Who's that handsome man? my little helper, but he loves this painting. But this painting I had an idea for like a year ago already, like maybe 2 years ago, and my inspiration is basically Pride and Prejudice opening scene and the scene where your hands are cold happens. So I love like the mist, and my main goal is just really capturing that morning mist and that morning dew, the dawn, like that whole cold vibe, yet you're warm enough to sit there and watch the sunrise. I don't know if this is going to be like me explaining everything that I'm doing in my whole process, or if it's just going to be like a watch me paint, but I mean, I'm just still figuring this out and I'm just having fun with it. So without further ado, let's just start painting. So this has been my palette recently. So this is like the colors that I was using for the sunrise and for the clouds in the sky, and then I've been using a lot of brown and green and white and black. Very little blue. Blue is only to start on the little pond, which I will fix because it's not exactly where I want it to be. Right now it kind of looks like you're standing on a hill looking down at the pond, but I want it to look like you're like this, where you're just like at the pond instead of like away from the pond, if that makes any sense. So that's what I use the blue for, but I'm gonna obviously change it, and of course that's how art works. You just kind of go along with it. But I love oil painting. I feel like it's so forgiving. It's actually really forgiving. I feel like it's a very forgiving medium, and I feel so alive when I paint, and I just love like finding the art hidden in my brush, as Bob Ross always explains. But yeah, so I did this section about like a few days ago, and it's all dry, and my plan was to go in and do a fog and a mist on this entire section right here, and then after the mist is done, then I go in with another layer of grass and misty grass. So I'm just gonna zoom on in and we're gonna just focus on that area. Also shout out to this paper tarp with like plastic lined underneath it, because it saves my desk. This desk is so special to me. My dad made it for me, and it's alder wood, and it's just fully natural, and I love the way he made it, so I don't want to like ruin it. So I found this tarp that is like paper. It's for painting specifically as well, but it has plastic underneath it, so if any paint thinner or oil paint, like oil from the paint, even water, watercolor, anything goes through, it just hits the plastic and it doesn't hit my desk. So shout out to that. So for mist, I love going in with my Bob Ross #2 brush. I love this brush, and it's just really fluffy, really good overall. I love using it for blending like across. I also love this blending brush. It's very fluffy, really big. I believe that says silver, not quite sure, but this brush and this brush are my favorite for mist and for just fog in general, and clouds whenever I need to blend something seamlessly, even like gradients and stuff. So I try to keep my whole palette clean, and I mean, I try to keep it very sectioned off, but the green has taken quite a lot of space, so I might just quickly clean this off. So this section is now cleared off for me to go in with the white. So a bit of white and just dip it in some paint thinner, and I go in really coating the brush. really nice to kind of go in with like smaller sections and smaller amounts. So while it's very like stark, because you can like really see the brush strokes right now, I kind of prefer it that way, because then I go in very softly after the main amount of paint is kind of off of the brush, and then I start blending it. So since it's nearly dry, I can just blend it, blend it, blend it, and then it all kind of evens out seamlessly. Going in with that big blending brush. And when I'm blending like mist and a lot of like layers of mist and gradients of mist, I really like to focus in on like the bottom layer of it, so that it's not just like a very defined layer where it's like grass, mist, and then you see the mist just like harsh line of stopping and then grass again. I like to really like fade it out. And the good thing about paint thinner is that you can just make it so thin that it just blends in with whatever was underneath. There you go. And if you just kind of keep going with it, it gets very, very nice. Kind of wanted to add some going like that, so we're gonna this one covers so much ground area, so it's really nice to just kind of pale it out. There you go. See how stark it is? It's so like blatant, so blunt. We're just fading that out now. Kind of hard to tell like with the reflection of what is going on over here, but I promise it's working out. I did a little blueprint of 2 fawns, but we'll see if that makes it to the final cut. If anything, I always go above it, and if it peeps through, then I'll fix it. Like, then I'll make it more detailed at the end of the painting. When I want to push the paint up, I go in circles going upward. And then when I want to push it down, boom. I just kind of angle the brush. When I want to go up, because I don't necessarily want to bring it up higher. I just want to all of this grass. I've been going in with these 2 brushes. This one is by Art Minds, 1.5 inch, and then this one is just from Home Depot. Actually, they're both 1.5 inches, but this one's longer and like a lot more like straight. This one's a lot more feathered. So I want to just come in nice and close to show you like what I'm doing now. So we got all that mist, and I just went in with this layer of grass. I let it dip down here so it's not just like stark layer after stark layer, and now I'm just going in with a very like dark, it's like a shade or 2 darker and a little bit more brown than the grass, and I go in and I do like these little details that kind of like replicate little bushes and just like little tufts of grass that are a little bit like stronger, and you can see them through the mist even after you go in with it. So I just wanted to like show that little tuft of grass that I'm doing that really just makes the whole painting come alive. So I mixed up that color here, and I go in with a really thin, I actually made this brush from another kit I had from, I guess it's called Alex. This is number 5. I cut the rest of the bristles besides this one, and it looks so funny, but I mean, it's the only way I was able to find the thinnest brush I could possibly lay my hands on. just like that, I go in and I do all those little brush strokes. And then I'm gonna do like kind of this, but a lot bigger and fatter. Here I'm gonna do a really nice bushy bush and put tiny little flowers, and then when the mist goes on, it's gonna look like a very beautiful morning. So I had to close the blinds because there was just a lot of light was reflecting off of the wet paint, and it just, you couldn't really tell what I was doing. But here's kind of like a slow close-up of where we're at now. I'm really loving it, loving how it's like lots of depth and the planes are visible. But yeah, I just went in with my dark color and just got all those tiny bushes and those tiny details. I really like this bush. It has tiny little flowers that you can only really see in person. And this will be covered up also by mist. So since this is all wet, I can't go over it with that mist right now, so I'm gonna work on fixing the pond. I want it to be a little bit more like closer to me rather than farther, so I'm gonna just basically like extend it and extend the grass and see what I can do. So I did some color blocking, and this is kind of what we have now. This is just what I do. This is my process. I like to just kind of sit here and just kind of let it dry like this, and then when I get an idea of, you know, how much further I want to go or how much more details I want to go for, or just mapping out the entire thing, I go in and I start again. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. That's my painting vlog. I'm really happy that I did it and just kind of like brought you along like a day of my process. And I mean, I guess it just goes to show that like you don't finish a painting in one day unless it's a very specific type or not something like this. So yeah, I have a couple other things to do today, so I'm just gonna end off the painting vlog here, and I hope that this inspired you, or that it calmed you, or it kind of like, you know, sparked interest in painting, or just like showed you a little bit more about how it is to paint and how it is to, what my process at least looks like. Yeah, so just thank you for joining me. Thank you for staying all the way till now, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again in another video.